Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this latest edition of Re-Tifos, where I take old stories I've narrated and update them to modern audio standards. This particular story is called Sniper, written by Mirikon. So, it's confirmed. Yes, Captain. Captain Risto Solminum took a deep breath, held it, and let it out slowly. This was not the most complicated mission he'd been given, but it did have some unique challenges. But it would not do for a captain of the Black Star Navy to look nervous before battle even began. He checked the plot. Out there, across the infinite dark, was High Tortuga, the largest pirate base in the sector. At any one time, over 30 ships could be moored there, either fresh from a raid, preparing for a raid, or enjoying the spoils of their raids. Today, luck was with him. There were only 10 ships, as 20 had just left to raid the planet of Nuevo Edo. He snorted to himself. Fine. It wasn't really luck, so much as the rumor that mysteriously started spreading that the Nuevo Edo Navy had to send their ships off to fight in the border dispute, and there would be a small window before the mercenaries of the Black Star Navy showed up to pick up the slack. The pirates had jumped at the chance to raid the juicy target. Even after the recent immigration, Nuevo Edo still had a population that was 67% female, after all. The rumor was false, of course, a red herring to draw the pirates out. The admiral had hoped that all the ships in port would take the bait, but they were not to be that lucky, it seemed. No matter. 10 ships, plus whatever defenses the station itself had, not exactly great odds for a single corvette. But his Simo Haya had seen worse odds. In a stand-up fight, he'd be destroyed, for sure. But he wasn't worried. The pirates couldn't hit what they couldn't see. The Simo Haya may have a few years on her, and more than a few battles, but it was still as stealthy as they came. Full power to primary weapon. Rails energized, Captain. Ready to fire. The key to stealth in space was emissions control. There was no jungle to hide you, no convenient crowd to get lost in. A stray impulse, a bit of waste heat radiated in the wrong direction. Anything of the sort could be the difference between detection and completing their mission. And if there was one thing that was certain, it was that firing a railgun, running most of the length of the ship, put out a very large spike in the ambient EM radiation. The only saving grace was that it moved at light speed and was rather directional, thanks to the design of the gun. Because of the physics involved, the station wouldn't see them, even when they fired. But the pirates weren't stupid. They had satellites out in stealth as pickets. He had no way of aiming his shot without at least one satellite catching it, and destroying the satellites would simply put the pirates on alert. One satellite was in position to see him when he fired. The light of his first shot would take 30 minutes to reach the satellite because of FTL communications. The station would receive the information almost instantly at that point. News of these attacks would reach the station in 30 minutes. The bullet would reach the station in 15, and if he timed the engines just right, the second, fired 10 minutes later, would arrive 20 minutes after the first shot was fired. Then the games would begin. The captain breathed in, breathed out, breathed in, and held it. He let his heart turn to ice. In this moment, he was death itself, even if the pirates didn't know it yet. Fire 1. Shut away, rails recharging. There was a shudder that was more psychological than physical as the massive gun fired, sending a 20-kilogram tungsten rod downrange at speeds that could be considered a significant fraction of the speed of light. Accelerate according to calculations. Underway. It would have been ideal to stack the attacks so that they arrived at the same time. That wasn't possible, not if he wanted to remain hidden for as long as possible. But he could use the gravity of the gas giant between him and the base to arrange for the shots to hit close enough together that they would hit before the enemy even knew he was there. If it worked, the velocities would bring him in line with the third target, the third shot, without being seen. Rails recharged, Captain. Ready to fire. Helm. In position. In 20 seconds, Captain. Wiring to computer control. Fire when in position. A second half-felt, half-imagined shudder. A second round left the barrel of his rifle, and they were still invisible for another few minutes. Cut the engines. Maneuvering thrusters minimal use. Recharge the rails. Cut engines, aye, Captain. They drifted down. No friction to slow them down. The laws of inertia were absolute, even in a world of spaceships and science fiction. The thrusters did nothing to stop the assassin-class corvette, only turning it slightly, lining it up with the third shot. 5 minutes after the second shot, the spy satellites they had slipped into the system earlier sent them the visuals. The first shot hit one of the exposed sections of the base. It wasn't the command center that was hidden safely inside the rock, but it was the communication center and docking control. It was destroyed utterly, along with the pirates' long-distance FTL comm array. There would be no reinforcements coming, not in time. Rails recharged, Captain. Firing to computer control. Fire when ready. Leaving firing to the computers felt wrong, somehow, but it was necessary. Powerful as the human eye and the human brain were, they were simply not equipped to calculate ballistic trajectories in 3 dimensions using gravity assist from multiple bodies at different starting velocities, at ranges that were measured in light minutes. That thought was made moot shortly after, as the third shudder happened. Helm 20 degrees starboard, Z minus 6 degrees, 3-second burn, then back to silent running. Charge the rails, update firing solutions once the pirates figure out what's coming. Hi, Captain. Looking for brown smears in space. That got a laugh. He allowed it. His crew was professional, and a bit of a laugh was good for morale, especially at the expense of the pirates. Second shot is good, Captain. The primary docks are toast. No fighters joining the party. Good. On the pirate ships? Energy readings building up, but not uniform, and only 5 of them. They're pretty shaken up, looks like. Poor dears probably thought that they were safe in their secret base. Time until they're operational? 10, 15 minutes, Captain, maybe more. If they're on skeleton crews and bad maintenance, their drives were stone cold. Captain Salmonham smirked. So, 20 minutes. Pirates always had poor maintenance, and even if a full shift was left on ship, they wouldn't be sober. Not in port. Plenty of time. Time until rails are charged? 30 seconds, Captain. Estimated time to target, Tango 3. 15 minutes and current speed. Lock on, fire 4. The shudder came again, at the same moment that the third target, a cloud scoop harvesting fuel from the gas giant, exploded violently as the railgun hit straight in the fuel refinery. Rails recharging, Captain. Thrusters, Z plus 12 degrees, port 10 degrees. Use spy satellite 2 and transmit the customary greeting. Across the system, the following message was played in the clear. Pirate vessels, you are under the guns of the Black Star Navy. Surrender or die. BSN Simu Haya. End of story. I would just like to thank the T5 supporters. Bushmaster 117, Casper Arnholtz, Draxzoon WRE, Elijah Silvercross, Gray, John Carrington, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.